To the African Diary Show with Kati. Massive. Stay tuned. Greetings and salutations, Maxi and Jerome, all the way in Switzerland, and you're tuning into the Black Hat Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Kati. Massive. Stay tuned.
When you're big, a booty side, it's not your time. Here we die. When you're big, a booty side, it's not your time. Here we die. Unadhani bila vya tuwezi ishi. News flash, tutaishi fiti. Tutakusahau kama kamisi. Na memory tutoe kwa akili. Una behave ni kawetu. Kuna option, pia sisi. Hiyo ni caution. Kasi uroma, last chance tuliacha last year. Hiyo ndio falamista kikusikia. Usipo change kanyanga. When niambie ebu decide sina your time hiyo witha. When niambie ebu decide sina your time hiyo witha.
Shout out to Jose. Karibu sana Jose. Positive energy, I see you. Yes, karibuni sana to the African Diary Show.
Unanithreat, utaniacha, siniache, unatutreat, utaacha kazi, sio.
Shout out to Bunda Mio.
Ujinga ni kudhani bila wewe, hatutasonga, tunasonga. Ujinga ni kudhani bila wewe, hatutaomoka, tunaomoka. Wewe ni dam, dam, you're so damn, hii dunia si yako pekee. You're so damn, utashtuka kama ngoja nikufuate. Usipo change kila mtu njia yake. When niambie, ebu decide, sina your time, hiyo witha. When niambie, ebu decide, sina your time, hiyo witha. We decide, kauta change, sina your time, hiyo witha. When niambie, ebu decide, sina your time.
Yes, karibuni sana to another episode of the African Diary Show. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing great. And I hope your Friday afternoon is coming along great. I see some days stubborn and asema lucid dreams it come through. Actually, this is not the right time to request for jams because yes, the African Diary Show is all about talking. Yes, it is more of a talk show, not a music show. But in case you'd love to listen to lucid dreams, you still love to listen to lucid dreams, make sure you're tuned in on Monday very early in the morning from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. That is why we get to play you some jams. But I see Bunda Mio unasema uko wapi jamani, niko route 125. Kama unajua Kenya, I know you definitely know uko ni wapi. But anyway, karibuni sana, I hope you're well. Karibuni sana to all those who are just joining us on TikTok. Shout out to Batman. Ni Batman ama ni Batman, but shout out to you, Batman. I see Paminas in the building. Karibu sana, Paminas. And to all those who are with me on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter, as you get to join us, make sure you're smashing the like button. And also, you are hitting that notification bell in case you have not. To all my TikTok listeners, karibuni sana. And in case this is your first time landing here, this show is all about African people, African continent, and all about what is happening in the beautiful continent of Africa. And what's up with the African people? What are their day-to-day life activities? And what is the breaking news? What are the news and updates across the African countries? That is all we're gonna be talking about today. And one, we shall be talking about what happened yesterday. This is something that I reported yesterday: the death of the Wagner chief. Yes, the Wagner group chief. He died. Yeah, he crashed. We are told that he crashed, but we have seen Putin has come and talked about it, and also I have seen silence in Africa. Africa is not talking about it, and nobody in Africa is actually talking about what happened to this. And remember, this guy was leaving Africa for his country. He was leaving Africa for Russia, and in the middle he died in Moscow. So yes, he crashed in Moscow. That is what we are told. But do we want to believe that he died? Do we want to believe that he is dead? And yet we have not seen his body. That is all we shall be discussing today. Also, we shall get to see what is happening with the Zimbabwe. Remember yesterday I told you these people were on day 2 of their election. Remember, their elections were extended because Mnagango, or rather, we had the opposition saying that there was not enough time for people to go and vote because there were delays witnessed in Zimbabwe when the ballot papers were expected to get on the polling stations on time. So it was very hard for the voters to come out and vote because of the delays of the ballot papers. But yes, they extended the election to 2 days. But now there's still something that is not going right. There's still something that is happening there. And yeah, I've seen the opposition with the posters telling people don't go and vote. Don't go and vote because the election is stolen. The election is not fair. Yes, this was yesterday. They came up with posters telling people not to go and vote. These are Zimbabweans being told not to go and vote because the election is not free and fair. So we shall get to see more about that and what is happening in the same country. And also remember, there is yesterday was the last day of the summit. Okay, was it yesterday or today? Yes, the summit actually ended yesterday. And remember, this was a 3-day summit in South Africa, BRICS summit. Yes, we are about to discuss about what is happening with the BRICS. And yesterday we touched on it. I told you what I told you in case you didn't know what I'm all about the BRICS. And in case you'd love to know what BRICS is, and also, you'd love to know how BRICS is working for Africans and also the Europeans and why they are bringing it to Africa. Please make sure you stay tuned. I see Effie in the building already. Karibu sana, Effie. How are you doing? I'm so glad to see you in our show today. Bunda Mio, asante sana for joining us once again, and to all those who are just joining us. I see Ansan Kenon already in Katie Land. You're saying, I'm here in Katie Land. Yes, asante sana, and thank you for joining us. And I see Effie saying, I'm doing good. Happy Friday, Effie. Asante sana for joining us. We shall go back to one more jam, and remember, we started off our show with an amazing jam by a major. We decide the culture change. We decide if you want to listen to this amazing episode. This is Cup Near Cup featuring Caterpillar. The jam is Machupa. Get to jam and to eat. Today is on a Friday. Wapi is on Machupa.
kushoto na mchezewe kwenye ngasi zenu napandisha hasira nilolofanya Paulo atembee na sila mtasio salama damu chizwa kwa jichunge ama risasi zilie moto na choma damu ina floki noma mtakoma mkiasi tuko machupa na goma kicheki feki change panties if you can see bring your auntie tasikia nataka mwana wenu navyomfanyia alafu ni mwache mwone atakavyokimbia mbele atakongwa na katapila nyongo na manila sione tumetulia waloka chaka sindo tuna control tunakuja na weita tunakutoa roho tunakuwakilia tunakula full time wajalete machupa lete machupa wajalete machupa lete machupa vile majabu na tupa Iraq bazuka vya napas mijukali ya kiti ya kuna pakuka kele kana ya bensolo marapa.
My quote of the day says that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
Kuna kitu tokona mambo fanya kina kurudisha shule semeka nambo young kataveli na single beach young trying to count the paper until my fingers is itchy skili control kuzilalishi napiga kama rufuku zila bora ziishi bro so no you can't control me yo don't call me on but man as your vibe that you already if I die my legacy is gone carry on that's the best to overdo it don't you compare me so Sima tuna control, tunakuja na weita, tunakutoa roho, tunakuwakilia, tunakula full time, wajalete machupa, lete machupa, wajalete machupa, lete machupa. Useme tumetulia mwanauka chaka Sina tuna control tunakuja na weita tunakutoa roho tunakuwakilia tunakula full time wajalete machupa lete machupa wajalete machupa.
Yes, welcome back to the African Diary Show. That is a Capnia featuring Caterpillar on that one, and the jam is a Machupa. I hope you did get to jam and to eat as we getting started with our show for today. And as I promised you, we shall be discussing different matters, and one of the matters we shall get to discuss is about the Wagner chief dying, or rather the Wagner boss dying, and he died while he was leaving Africa for Russia. And now, what caused his sudden air crash? You know, this was sudden, and remember, they are. I say that their planes must be checked. They have to be checked, and like they just don't leave. They just don't board a flight, and then it's that's it. You know, their planes have to be checked. So, what caused the sudden crash? And now, you know, I'm seeing this. And I told you guys, I'm just seeing this, and I told you guys yesterday. Okay, it is, remember, right now, the Wagner group are continuing or have so many operations happening in Africa. And as I told you guys, they have also their enemies, not really enemies because they all want to operate on the same Africa. But remember now, the US is not happy about this. We also have other powers who are still struggling to get to Africa and get influence in Africa. Remember, the Wagner Group has established their influence and also their stand in Africa's most countries. Remember, they are operating in Congo, they are operating in Mali, they are operating in Niger. And remember, right now, Niger is in a coup with the help of Russia. And not only Russia, the Russia's Wagner group. And the question is, you know, I saw this, and this was on BBC. Okay. This was on BBC, and now this is the reason we can say that, okay, this man might be dead. This man, okay, he is dead, But who killed him? Why the sudden death? Why the sudden crash? He has so many enemies. And the BBC today asked, okay, today, this is their topic. They asked Africa and the Wagner Group, what happens now that Prigozhin is dead? What will happen to Africa? Eh? This looks like, this person was killed because he's helping Africa too much. This is what I'm getting. Because why would they come up with such a topic? Okay, Prigozhin is dead. Now what happens with Africa? And remember, right now, they have so many operations continuing in Africa, just like I told you. The Malians sent away the French for the Russians. After that, we saw the Russians' activity involving and helping the Nigerians try and get into a coup and overthrow the government. So I feel like, yes, this is somebody who is so against the Wagner Group and the Russians' operations in Africa, and this is why we're seeing the sudden death or the sudden crash. But also, I don't want to believe this man is dead because where is the body? They are saying that they are yet to recover the body. Where is the body? The plane parts and the pieces are found, but where is the body? I want to know, where is the body? If we're talking about a dead person, it has to be a dead person with a body. Like, we have to see the corpse. And Sankenon is saying, pipe down, Joby. So, as we continue, I'm talking about Prigozhin. Yes, Prigozhin. They are saying he's dead. He might be dead. I'm not sure. He might be alive. I'm not sure, because we have not seen the body yet. Okay, but remember, there are so many other oppositions, or rather enemies of Russia's activity in Africa. Everybody right now wants to become an influencer in Africa. They are fighting for influence in Africa. We have the Russians, we have the Chinese, we have the British, and actually the British went silent. Nowadays we have the British. We also have other powers who are fighting to get influence in Africa. But remember, it's like Russia is conquering this influence in Africa. It is like they are getting this influence in Africa because why am I saying this? It is because we have seen they are helping Africans, of course, not for free. And remember, I'm not saying these people are our friends. They are only helping us because they are getting something in return, like what is happening in Niger. And so, it's very crazy with what is happening. Prigozhin might be killed. Prigozhin might they say that the plane crashed as a result of an attack. So it means that the plane was attacked, or it means that he might be somewhere alive and they are all playing games with us. But at the end of the day, we don't want to believe that he is dead. And remember, today on BBC, there is a topic asking, now what will happen to Africa that Prigozhin is dead? Why did they have such a headline? And this is how you get to know these news sites. No African is controlling this. And now this is so true that the news site is being controlled by some enemy of Russia somewhere. But anyway, I see Effie in the building is saying Americans think we cannot unite against them, but now we will. Yes, they think that we cannot unite against them, but I'm happy and I'm glad to see Africans are fully realizing what is happening, and they are waking up and they are ready to fight these people. They are ready to fight these people. I see Ansan Kenon, you're asking, what are you cooking for lunch? We're having some nice meal. We shall send you a picture so that you get to salivate, or you can just open Bluetooth and we shall send it to you. But anyway, as we continue, Yes, as we continue with our show for today, I'm talking about Prigozhin's sudden death or Prigozhin's sudden air crash. And I said, I don't want to believe that he is dead or he might be dead, but I don't want to believe this until now we are told that the body was recovered. We have the body because you cannot say that a person is dead without seeing them dead, without seeing the body or the corpse. So at the end of the day, we must see the dead body so that we believe that he is dead. But remember, these people have so many enemies, and I believe if he is dead, it's only because of his activities in Africa. Yes, it is only because of his activities in Africa. And remember, these people are so willing to do anything to get Africans. But away from that, let's get to another discussion. This is about the BRICS. We saw yesterday the BRICS welcomed 6 other new countries to the BRICS. And African's country, they are so willing to join these BRICS. Yesterday we hinted on what the BRICS is all about. Yesterday we talked about how BRICS depends on Africa's gold, Africa's resources. And the reason we're saying these people can't do BRICS without Africa is because that BRICS depends on our resources. So I see before we continue, I see you saying, Effie saying they think they know it, but Russia know it better than them. This is just a comic. Very true. This is what they are doing, but I don't want to believe Russia knows it better than them. You know, these people are all Europeans. I cannot say this one is better than this one. They are just using us as the way we're using them. In Niger, they're just using Nigerians as much as they are being used by Nigerians because they are giving weapons in return for their minerals, of course. They are not doing this for free. They won't do shit for free. The Europeans will never do shit for you for free. So they are just getting what we are giving them back. I see Trapo Entertainment in the building. Poor Sana Trapo, how are you doing? Karibu Sana, and thank you for joining us. So I'm talking about the BRICS, and yesterday we saw them welcome 6 new countries up into the BRICS, and I'm like, okay, it's okay. You just join at your own risk. But now, at whose risk? Because we are the ones being risked. It is our economies, our lives, our resources being risked over there. I'm just... Miriam, do you have something to say, or why are you requesting? In case you want to tell us something, just tell me and I'll add you. But stop requesting in case you just don't have something to say. So I'm talking about 6 new countries being joining, or rather joining the BRICS, and I was like, okay, this is good for you, but not good for any African country. And I'm so angry with Egypt and Ethiopia. But remember, Egypt, it is an African country, it's full of these non-African people. These people are not African. These people are not black people. So we have seen them, and this might be the reason they are joining these people, because they are all Europeans. But Ethiopia, I'm so angered with you. I'm also even disturbed by the fact that Saudi Arabia and the UAE have joined BRICS. And you, as an African person, you want to believe that you are going to be treated as equals with Saudi Arabia and the UAE and the other European countries. We have the Chinese, we have the Russians, we have so many other people in the BRICS, but Africans, you think that these people are just telling you to join BRICS for no reason? Of course not. Of course not. Shout out to James, African James Bond. Karibu Sana. Thank you for joining us. And yes, Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE have been invited to join the grouping of top emerging economies in January 2024. Okay? Johannesburg, South Africa, the BRICS bloc, all top emerging economies, have taken a major step in expanding its reach and influence with the announcement that 6 more nations have been invited to join as new members. And it's just crazy how these people are inviting you. You're not taking yourself willingly, they're just inviting you. And I told you guys, Kenya is the next country to join BRICS. And our puppet president has been talking about, we as African countries, we need to create our own common currency. But right now, he is such a puppet to go and join BRICS. He will. Of course, he will. We are seeing him. He is about to. Okay? He is about to go there and join the BRICS and tell you, the BRICS is all this and this and this and this. And yesterday he told you guys, it is not a coincidence that we had the dollar collapsing and then there's another currency that is waiting for you now after the dollar is collapsing. It is not a coincidence. The people who made the dollar, they are the ones who made the BRICS, and they have a trap for you to make sure that you join that. Huh? And I told you yesterday, and guys, you should know this. These people are forcing Africans, and you have to join the BRICS as African countries. You know why you have to join as African countries? Because the economy of the BRICS depends on the resources in Africa. You think that they are controlling the BRICS and everything? You think they have the safes for the BRICS and everything? You think so? They have no resources to back their BRICS, that currency. It is the same as the dollar. What have they been doing with the dollar? Using the same criteria. So don't think that it is just a coincidence that they brought the BRICS to replace the dollar. It is not a coincidence that we had the dollar falling and now the BRICS is rising. No, it is not a coincidence. And remember, the economy of the BRICS depends on the resources we have in Africa. And that is why they're gonna make all African countries join the BRICS. You might say no, but you have to. And our puppets right here in Africa will be the ones taking us through there so willingly. But I see Effie is saying, in BRICS, if we go as an individual country, we will not make, but we go as a continent, we win. That's what you think, Effie. I don't think so. If we go as a continent, that is giving them the right to control all our resources in the country. And their goal is to make sure that, why South Africa is in the BRICS? Is to make sure that now they mobilize all African countries, because they will tell you, South Africa is in the BRICS and it is doing well. The GDP of the country has actually gone higher. Why are you not joining the BRICS? And they will use South Africa as an example to you, and that is how you will be manipulated to join the BRICS. And it will be very sad for Africans. We continue remaining in poverty. We remain in poverty while these people are still sourcing out our resources. How sad is that? Very sad. Very, very sad. It is very sad. But now Africans are so dumb. Not so dumb. I don't want to call you dumb. I'm sorry about that. Africans, we're so asleep that we wouldn't realize. I saw somebody saying that, it is very okay for Africans to join the BRICS. We don't have a currency that we depend on, and the dollar is so bad because it is going so low. And once the dollar collapses, we will not have a currency to trade with in our markets. Why do we depend on the dollar? Now, why do we have to depend on the BRICS? Why don't we create our own currency and depend on it? Why do we need to depend on the Europeans to come up with strategies of creating new currencies for us? Yet we can create our own. And I told you guys, I told you, and I did a show about that. I told you. The moment the dollar started collapsing, I saw that as an opportunity for Africans to come up and strategize on their own currency and putting up their own currency and it work or making it work in favor of their economy and make sure that now the currency we are using, the African currency we shall be using, is backed up by our resources in the economy. But what did we do? We just left. We waited for the Europeans to do what they do best. Huh? We waited for them to come up with a new currency for us as we were waiting for the dollar to collapse. You know, and suddenly, yeah, here we are. Here we are. Ethiopia, Egypt, other African countries are yet to join it. And by the end of this all, African countries will have fallen into a trap. And you know, the reason we will have fallen into a trap, remember, the BRICS, we have the Russians, the BRICS, we have the Chinese, the BRICS. We have so many people that are influencing African countries. The Chinese, they are in Zimbabwe, they are in Zambia, and remember the Chinese built the Zimbabweans a parliament. Okay? So the Zimbabweans will be told, in case you don't join the BRICS, we shall put, we shall demolish that expensive parliament we built for you. Zambians will be told, in case you don't join the BRICS, we shall stop our activities in your country. And you know, the Zambians are yet to discover what dangers the Chinese are bringing to their country. So they will fall into the trap just because they believe that the Chinese are there to industrialize, to make sure that their country grows. They will fall into the trap of believing that now we have to join the BRICS because these people are going to destroy us. You know, that is how we will be lured to joining the BRICS, of which it will be a very, very, very sad story. Very sad thing for us. Shout out to Washi. Washi is asking, which station is this? This is the Black Horse Fire Network. My name is Katie, and this is the African Diary Show. Yes, it is the Black Horse Fire Network radio station. But I see, I see somebody else. I see Okod is saying hi. Hi to you too, Okod. Thank you for joining us, and to all those who are with us in the building. Briggs, sorry. Unsunken one, what's up with you? I'm even calling you Briggs. What's up with you? You want to see Joby? Or what's up with you? You're just calling a Joby. You're just calling a Joby all over the comments. Huh? Anyway, we are on Ketiland. We are not talking about Joby right here. But you're saying there'll be proxy wars in the continent by the puppet masters, BRICS versus the US dollar. Yes, that is what we are. That is what is going to happen. But I see Ansanken one is asking, Joby, what's the cost of ugali today? My name is Katie. Nice to meet you, Ansanken one. Trono Other 808, karibu sana, and thank you for joining us. Yes, we were talking about the BRICS, and before we continue, and before Ansanken one starts calling Joby out again, let me just share this video real quick as we continue with our show for today, and also as you continue telling me, what do you feel about Africans getting, or rather joining the BRICS? Is it sad for us? Should we start warring unto ourselves? Yeah, should we start saying it's over for us? Should we start feeling sorry for ourselves, or what should we do as African people? Because the time has come to start feeling sorry for ourselves, because now we Okay, let me share my screen. Let me expand it so that you can see. And this is Ramaphosa. Yokun. This is a puppet. I see what she was saying. Tunaweza itwa interview ya mafans. We like the station, but we like more the stationalist.
BRICS, they being Brazil, Russia, India, China, and ourselves. BRICS makes up a quarter of the global economy. It accounts for a fifth of BRICS as a formation plays an important role
Oh shit, my video lost audio. Let me reshare as we continue. Shout out to Washiaki. We shall invite you for an interview. You really want to stay the stationalist? I'm Katie. I'm Katie. You see, and Anson Kenwan is saying, apologies, Katie. I just haven't seen Joby all week. My bad. I thought so. I thought so. You should have video call her sometime as you continue with your day. I'm sure she misses you as much as you do. Let me share my screen once again. I'm sorry about that. Yes, I did see there was no sound. Let me share again. Okay, here.
accounts for a fifth of global trade.
Makes a quarter of the economy. What are we talking about? A quarter of the economy with Africa's resources. Remember, the economy of these BRICS is backed by Africa's resources, and this is why they need Africans to join the BRICS. They will not tell you this, but they are telling you the GDP of BRICS, the GDP of BRICS, and it's just started. Are you even mad? You know, they are coming up with insane numbers. They are telling us the GDP of this, the GDP of the BRICS is at 32%. And I'm like, it just started. Now, how is it higher than the USD? And the USD has been there for the longest time. You know, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I see Ansan Kenon is saying, Katie, don't try that Zora for me.
And is home to more than 40% of the world's population. Due to its economic power, its market potential, its political influence, and development cooperation. Yet the value of BRICS extends beyond its sheer size. BRICS countries can collectively shape global dynamics, and acting together, it has the potential to drive significant changes in the world economy and in international relations. Together, the BRICS members call for a world that is more equitable, balanced, and governed by an inclusive system of global governance. South Africa has always championed the interests of Africa within BRICS. To further advance the African development agenda, more than 30 heads of state and government from across our continent will be attending the summit at our invitation. We want to build a partnership between BRICS and Africa.
BRICS and Africa, so that the BRICS can steal your resources and back their economy on it, and back their BRICS currency on your resources. You know, This is why they want to make sure that Africa has a connection, Africa has a relationship with the BRICS, and they are going to make sure that you trade with it. Shout out to Mbure. Thank you very much for joining.
So that our continent can unlock
Thank you very much for tapping the screen for me.
Opportunities for increased trade, investment, and infrastructure development. There are great opportunities for other countries to participate in the African continental free.
So as we continue, shout out to Sinto. You're saying hello, Katie. Shout out from Sinto following. Thank you very much for joining, Sinto, and also much love.
Trade area by locating production and services in various countries on our continent, including our own, by partnering with local companies and local entrepreneurs.
Local companies, why are they supporting local companies? You need to ask yourself this. These people will never support you for no goddamn reason. These people are not your friends. So they're supporting you for what you have, not what they have seen in you. They are supporting you for what you have. And what I'm talking about is the resources we have. And this is why they want to make sure that there's a relationship between the African countries, and the African countries must be lured to get into the BRICS. But it would be very stupid of African countries to join this. But we have seen this. It is very stupid of Ethiopian. Shame on Ethiopian president. Shame on Egyptian president. But I'm not even surprised that Egypt did this. You know, Egypt is a sellout country. They are full of cons. That is a country full of cons. It is not actually, it is an African country, but with Caucasians and Neanderthals. So it is a city, or it is a country full of Neanderthals in Africa. They're just not African people. They're just Neanderthals.
15th BRICS Summit will discuss a number of issues, including the important issue of the possible expansion of the membership of BRICS. More than 20 countries from around the world have formally applied to join BRICS, and several others have expressed an interest in becoming part of the BRICS family. So it supports the expansion of the membership of BRICS. The value of BRICS extends beyond the
Somebody is saying it is Neanderthals. Okay, whatever, man.
interests of its current members.
I think it's the Neanderthals, not Neanderthals. Okay, it is the Neanderthals.
Efforts to be effective, BRICS needs to build partnerships with other countries that share its aspirations and perspectives. An expanded BRICS will represent a diverse group of nations with different political systems that share a common desire to have a more balanced global order. In addition to other African leaders in attendance, we will also be welcoming leaders from several countries of the Global South whom we have invited.
Shut up, Yukun. I see Effie is saying Africans have been waiting for the coming of Jesus Christ. So no worry. Manze, they have been waiting for Jesus to come back for the longest time, and Jesus is not even coming back. And Jesus did never exist. Jesus is not real. It is just a heart that they have been waiting. They're just waiting for a fake Jesus to come from I don't know where. MMZ, you're saying good student. Of course I learn. We're here to learn. And if I'm not willing to learn, I should not be teaching you anything. So you teach me, I teach you, we learn together.
These include countries from the Caribbean and South America, from the Middle East, from West Asia, South Asia, and Southeast Asia as well. This BRICS summit is particularly important as it is being held as the world is confronted by fundamental challenges that are bound to determine the course of international events for years to come. Our world has become increasingly complex and fractured as it is increasingly polarized and competing with each other. in various competing camps. Multilateralism is being replaced of different power blocks, all of which we trade with, we invest with, and whose technology we also use. It is for this reason that South Africa continues to advocate for.
Oh no, we are back now to this religion nonsense. Somebody is saying, MMZ is saying, Jesus Christ did exist indeed. Whether he is the savior of the world, that is where the debate is. Jesus Christ never existed. I'm so sorry, brother, to hurt your feelings, but Jesus Christ never existed. That is a fake hoax you're always told about. That is a scam. That is a very big, fat ass scam. Jesus Christ never existed. Okay? Yes. You need to learn this, that Jesus Christ never existed. Religion is a big scam, and religion has been used to put people in poverty. Tell me, how do you believe that happy are the poor? For the kingdom of heaven is there. So I'm supposed to enjoy being in poverty as I wait to go in heaven. Do you know that the heaven, the place you call hell, is right here where we live? Do you know that? Oh no, I know you don't know, but you need to get that right. The place you call hell is where we live right now. Yes. But shout out to what she's saying. Effie, our ancestors died believing that we will become ancestors waiting. Manze, it is so sad. We have a person like MMZ. He is still waiting for Jesus to resurrect. Yeah? You can even hear the sarcastic laugh. People around here are just laughing for you because you're waiting for a fake Jesus to resurrect, a Jesus who never existed. Anyway, I don't want to talk much about this. We were talking about the BRICS. I'm sorry about that.
An open and rules-based global governance, trade, financial, and investment. It must be a system that does not depend on the exercise of power or
we're about to
unilateralism.
switch our conversation to this religion nonsense because now people are out here saying Jesus never existed. Yes, Jesus never existed. Jesus never existed. Please go to your Google Tafadhali real quick. Can you find me? Find me. No, let's just do this real quick. Go to your Google, or rather go to wherever your browser. Just tell me when letter J was invented. Just tell me that. And then you come back. We talk about this. Okay? I see MMZ is saying guy did exist. His name was Yeshua. And no, I am not waiting for him to resurrect. Jesus never existed, and that's the end of it, period. And also you're saying he was just another woke guy, not the savior. I don't believe in that goofy nonsense, but he never existed. Can we just continue with our video? You know, the funniest thing, on TikTok, you'll find everybody. On TikTok, you'll find everybody. And sometimes we are forced to switch our conversations just because of our audience. So we're talking about Jesus. We're talking about BRICS. And you have to bear with me, because I have every type of audience on this show. So Coffee T254 is saying, so Jesus never existed because letter J just got invented recently. No, not even because of that. Not because of that. Yeah? Not because of that. But bro, you need to get the real history. We need to get the real history. I just hate the fact that Africans, we become so dormant, docile. We just rely on the history we are given. We don't look for history ourselves. Yes, I said Jesus never existed, not just because letter J was invented recently. And also, tell me, how was letter J invented recently and Jesus was called Jesus back by then? Does that even make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to you. You're saying MMG is saying Yeshua existed, Jesus Christ did not. Yeshua and Jesus is the same bullshit and the same nonsense. And also, I see Kofi is saying, don't rely on history to prove his existence. Look at this man. Don't rely on history. What should I rely on? What do you mean? What do you rely on to get reference? Oh my God. Oh my God. This guy just told me not to rely on history. Okay? He told me not to rely on history. But I see Ansankanan is saying, if Kid is listening, he's about to step down from the clouds. He wants all the religious smoke. And also you're saying smoking on a pork of Jesus. I see General Mosquito in the building. Hello to you too, General Mosquito. And also Samuel is saying, I keep wondering how BRICS nations are gonna share power. I also wonder the same. But you know, Samuel, what will happen? Some goofy country like South Africa will not get anything. Imagine they are not going to get anything. You will see them weeping. He was so willing to join the BRICS, but he'll not get even a cut of it. Because they consider you Africa. They consider you Africans, and Africans are not meant to get anything as for what they know. You know? So a country like South Africa, they are not going to get anything. But General Mosquito is saying this South African guy won't last long. He's around too many white people. They are gonna mess him up psychologically. He's not careful. Yes, if he's not careful. And also, Ansangaran is saying, excuse me, Katie, I have Jesus on the main line. Please hold for line 1. Please connect him. But I see MMZ saying rely on ancient literature.
Exactly.
Isn't that history? Man, you're just using a different English word to talk about what I'm talking about. That doesn't mean that you're right, bruh. But I see Effie is saying, how could give birth to himself out of human beings whom he created? It's not even making sense. It doesn't make sense, Effie. And you know, we're still in poverty. We're still stuck here just because of these people who believes that, yes, religion is a good thing. Religion, you know, it is just crazy. And Kofi is saying, Africans don't need to be given anything. We just need to be left alone with our own resources. Exactly. That is what we need as African people. And in case you didn't get what I was saying, Kofi, I was talking about, okay, it is somebody who asked me on the chat. I'm also live on other different platforms. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter. So what I'm saying, it is somebody is asking me on YouTube, or somebody just commented, I keep wondering how BRICS nations are gonna share power. And I'm saying a country like South Africa is not going to get anything. Because remember, he's around the white people, and the white people, they are there to diminish you and to make sure that you remain in poverty. So a country like South Africa is not going to get anything when it comes to dividing and sharing power. Maybe China can get, maybe Russia, maybe the others can get, but a country like South Africa, they're not going to get anything. They're just going to be used to lure other African countries to join the BRICS, in case you didn't understand what I was talking about. But can I go back to my conversation, because now these religious nuts are gonna mess up my show.
Advancement of the interests of the peoples of the world. It is in this rules-based system.
Oh my God. Kofi said, I know, but regardless, BRICS is a better devil than the US dollar. So, okay, Kofi, let me just ask you, it is a better devil to you. But let me just ask you, so you think it is a coincidence that we had the dollar collapsing and then the BRICS was just waiting for you to join it just because the dollar is collapsing? Just tell me me, how do you think that the BRICS is thriving? Right now, it has 26 people. Just tell me. How does the BRICS has 32% GDP and the dollar was there before the BRICS? Just tell me. They knew that, just tell me, just answer my question and then we shall continue. ICF is saying, when you read a book called Utengano or The Things Fall Apart, you may imagine it's true, the Bible. Very true. F is saying, when you read a book called Utengano, all the things fall apart. You may imagine it's true, the Bible. Very true. I see Derek is saying security imefika, tafadhali toa huyu Kofi manze. And I see Kofi is saying, guess what? The dollar is collapsing, but in Kenya, the dollar seems to be having a baby. Oh my God! The dollar is only collapsing in Kenya. That is what you think, because your mind is just based somewhere you are. Your mind is just, the way you think, your mind is based wherever you are. Tunaona akili yako tu iko hapo hivyo. Kama uko Kanairo, akili yako tu iko Kanairo, inaona tu kenye inafanyika Kanairo. Because you just, the dollar is collapsing just in Kenya? Are you insane? Haven't you seen the inflation all over the world? Haven't you seen this? Oh my God. I don't feel like arguing with you. I don't feel like, I don't have that energy. I don't have that energy. But I see Anton Kenon is saying that's either Tony or Bishop on the other side of the keyboard. Kobe is saying, this is what I mean. The dollar is really strong in Kenya, yet it is collapsing all around. Man, the dollar is strong in Kenya. Yes, because your currency is also depending on the dollar.
That we seek to.
And in case you don't notice, the central banks are the ones making our currency go low, because the central banks everywhere in the globe, they are controlled by the same people. I see Migui Wakamau saying she didn't get the comment. I did.
African prosperity and industrialization. We seek to change the rules to be fairer, but ultimately we want to promote an open system of economic and political relations. Amid all these challenges, Africa remains at the center of our foreign policy. We are firmly committed to strengthening the African Union so that it increases its capacity.
The African Union, you say. So, anyway, you're gonna use the African Union to make sure that all African countries make sure, or rather, they join the BRICS. But I see, Kofi is saying, there you go. Central banks are controlled by those who control Western countries. So BRICS is better. That's what you think? BRICS is better? They're just setting the new world order, my brother. BRICS is nothing better than the dollar. They are all the same. If you think that the BRICS is better than the US dollar, no, they are all the same. The dollar, the BRICS, the everything. They just came up with this nonsense. The same person who came up with the US dollar is the same person who is coming up with the BRICS. And you think, I asked you a good question, Kofi. You didn't answer me. Tell me. So you think it's a coincidence that there's the dollar collapsing and then there's the BRICS rising? So you think it's a coincidence? Just tell me. You think it's a coincidence that we had the dollar collapsing and then we have the BRICS rising? Tell me. You think it's a coincidence? Okay. If you think it's a coincidence, it's okay.
To support the achievement of greater integration on our continent. We are working towards the full implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is set.
Hi, Anza Canon is saying, I don't hear any of this mother tongue. You definitely can't trust this one.
To eliminate trade barriers.
Now I have Kofi asking me, how? So is it a coincidence that we have the dollar going down and then the BRICS is rising? He's saying it's superpowers at war. Superpowers again? You just said superpowers. It's superpowers at war, and this time it's an economic war. You see the same people you're saying it's an economic war? Do you know what they are doing with the BRICS? Do you know that the BRICS is backed up by the minerals we have in Africa? Do you know that? Do you know that the economy of the BRICS depends on the resources we have in Africa? So I'm just even wondering what you're trying to tell me. It is an economic war. Yes, it is an economic war. Very true. That you don't understand. You just don't understand this economic way. Remember, we had the dollar. Everybody was using the dollar. But all of a sudden, the dollar starts collapsing. And all of a sudden, the BRICS is going high. So that's a coincidence to you? Of course not. It is not a coincidence. They made sure that there's a better, now there's another different currency they made up to replace the dollar. That is what is happening. And you know what is backing up the BRICS? It is the resources we have in Africa. And that is why they are making sure that they're gonna lure all African countries into the BRICS. And ask yourself, why did they use South Africa? Why did they allow South Africa into the BRICS? Because we are seeing all other countries are the European countries. We have the Chinese, we have the Russians, we have the others. They are not African countries. Have you seen any black person there? It is Pokua Ramaphosa. It is only Ramaphosa. And Ramaphosa is gonna be used to lure all African countries into the BRICS. Because the economy of the BRICS depends on the minerals and resources we have in Africa. That is what is happening, my brother.
Boost intra-African trade and achieve prosperity for all of us.
Okay, Kofi is saying we need a resources-backed currency. So you think now, okay, we need that. Of course we need that. And this is what they are using, our resources, to back up the BRICS. So you think it is of any better to any African country? Why don't you do this as African people? Create your own currency and back it with the resources we have in Africa. Now, why are we allowing the Europeans to back their economy, their currency with our resources? Even the dollar is backed by the gold and the resources we have in Africa. You think that this is not happening? It is what is happening. Yes. And also you're saying no country should have autonomy to print money the way they want and use it to blackmail others. That's what you think. That's what you think. You don't know the people who control this world. You don't know. We have people who control this world. Yes, we have people who control this world. You just think that they can do whatever they want. As long as they control the World Bank, they can do whatever they want. And this is why we are having inflation all over the globe, because they really wanted the BRICS to get into the economy. And this is what is happening. They really wanted the dollar to collapse. And this is what is happening. But I see you saying, do you know the US can print money from thin air? I don't know that. And I just don't even want to argue more. I see Odella is telling me slowly, just don't argue with these people. Dollar is not backed by gold. This man just said that. This man just told me that the dollar is not backed by gold. Anyway. Anyway, Kofi, the dollar. You need to get your research right, and then we can come back here, argue more about this, because yes, the dollar is backed by the gold and the resources we have in Africa. We have the oil, we have the diamond, we have everything in Africa. And this is what they use to back the dollar. You don't know this? And this is why we have this platform for us to learn. We're not here to argue. We need to learn. But now, if you come here arguing with me, we're gonna argue. I see Jewel is saying, Katie, are you cheering for the US dollar? No, sister. I'm just trying to show these guys that the BRICS and the dollar, they are of no difference. The person who is behind the existence of the dollar is also the same person who is behind the existence of the BRICS. I'm not supporting or I'm not cheering for the dollar. Yeah. I'm not doing that. But anyway, family, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. We have extended even our show, and time is not really on our side. It is too late, and I need to take my lunch. And I think Coffee 254, you need to get your facts right. You need to get your facts right. 1, about Jesus. 2, about religion. 3, about the BRICS and the US dollar. Yes. You need to get your facts right. I see. F is saying, if it is not backed by those, what's back a dollar, or is it a paper and the picture? Yes, I'd love to know what is backing the dollar. If they say now the dollar is not backed by the gold we have in Africa, I'd just love to know. But I see also MMZ is saying, you also need to have your facts right. Since 1983, the dollar has been a flat currency. It's backed by faith. Much love. Somebody said the dollar is backed by faith. Much love, family. Hope to see you later on the African Diary Show. I'm done. The dollar is backed by faith. Once again, somebody said the dollar is backed by faith.
Bring your hand,
Kofi, I have my facts right. The F is saying, faith in Jesus Christ, you have got their back. Manze, we have to get their back because these people need to be saved. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest part of your day. Enjoy your weekend as well. But we're gonna be back. We are coming back with the Rhythm Scoop Show. Shout out to Kofi. Shout out to MMZ. And to everybody who was there with us. Shout out to Effie. Odele, I see you. Oh my God, Kofi just told me I need Jesus in my life. Hallelujah. Let me go and seek Jesus. Oh my God, he's gonna find me. I'm not going to find Jesus, he's gonna find me. That is what Kofi says. And I know he's real. Okay, Ansan Kenan is asking the name of the song. The song is called Machupa, MACHUPA, done by Kapnia Kapa, featuring Caterpillar. Yeah, in Swahili, just spell that in Swahili. Kakuna kishu kapona mambo fanye kina kurudisha shule semeka nambo kataveli na singo mbichi I'm trying to count the paper until my fingers is itchy.